So I have been asked a few times now, what went wrong on my month at the ecovillage? And in no particular order, here are my top 4. So in order to have internet service in Slovenia, I got an eSIM for Slovenia. I was like, yeah, this is going to be like the strongest signal ever because it's for Slovenia, in Slovenia. So when I got to the ecovillage, what I realized is, in fact, because the ecovillage is so close to the Croatian border, I mean, I could walk to it in 5 minutes, the best signal was actually the Croatian signal just across the border. So my eSIM card for Slovenia would pick up the Croatian signal, but not allow me to use it because it wasn't a Slovenian signal. So that would be ding number 1. What I am on now, that my first eSIM has expired, is an eSIM for Europe. And it's a little bit more expensive, but because I am now traveling around a bit, it just makes sure that if I'm on another border, there won't be any more issues, or less, right? Let's be honest. Number 2, cooking for 7 to 12 people. I have cooked. I have cooked before and made holiday dinners for 17, 18 people. But I did that with 3 days of preparation. Cooking without being able to go to the grocery store and get all the ingredients for a recipe, but rather flying by the seat of my cooking pants and cooking what was in season, coming out of the field, and just augmenting it with some of the staples in the storage room. My first meal, I panicked. And it turned out, that day, that lunch and that dinner actually turned out well, but I did end up having to ask for help, which was fine. But it really created a lot of stress in me. So the second day that I chose and volunteered to make the meals, I decided I had learned my lesson and I was not going to stress out because it would end up being fine one way or the other. Yeah, I personally don't think that meal, it was a dinner. That dinner, I don't think it tasted super good. It was good, but it wasn't super good. But I didn't panic. I got done with it. And when I was done, I said, all right, y'all. I will help anybody else cook happily. I will cook, but I need to be the sous chef, not the chef, because for whatever reason, cooking in that situation just, my cooking just wasn't turning out right. It wasn't turning out as tasty as it's always been. And of course that was my ego kicking in, and having its own little tantrum probably. So that would be number 2. Number 3, the cold, very strong bora winds coming out of the Eastern Alps started the last few days that I was at the ecovillage. And I had gotten this in a meditation. It turns out it's very, very true. For me, winds just zap my energy and not only make me really cold, but zap my energy so that all of a sudden I'm running on empty. And so that was a good aha to say, I do not work well in cold winds. So that is definitely something I am keeping nearby in my front pocket when I think of when and where to go to places. And number 4, I thought that my motion sickness was pretty well taken care of. It turns out no. The first time We went and drove to the eco-village. I was fine. I was also in the front seat. The times that I was in the back seat, I inevitably, I could make it about 15 minutes going up on all the windy roads, basically following the hills, right? To get over to the eco-village. But those hills, in the fight between Sabine and the hills won out every single time. I could go for longer in the ring, but inevitably I had to get to a point where I would close my eyes and I would really try to slow down my breathing, anything to not have that motion sickness actually manifest in the 3D. Yeah. So 4 things for me that did not go well, or you could say according to plan, but I did learn a ton from them. And that's also what I went to the eco-village and spent the month having the experience for, was what don't I yet know about myself, or maybe what did I have wrong? Thanks.